Host, Todd Huff.
Well, I guess you could say that President Trump is the first president to be acquitted twice now for impeachment. So we'll talk about that today. Happened over the weekend. Welcome, by the way, to the program. I'm your host, Todd Huff. Email, as always, or at least since we changed it, Todd@ToddHuffShow.com, Facebook.com/Todd Huff Show. We're streaming there, but that's not where you want to go. You want to watch it on the website because who knows what Facebook's going to do. ToddHuffShow.com is where you can watch the program streaming as well. And as always, you can download the podcast, Apple Podcast or Stitcher or Spotify, iHeartRadio, a gob of places there. Just search for the Todd Huff Show and you will find it and you can download it. So let's get right to it today. President Trump was acquitted over the weekend in a 57-43 vote in the Senate, meaning 57 senators voted to, you can't say remove him from office, to find him guilty and to permanently block his ability to ever run for anything again. 57 folks. That includes all 50 Democrat senators, and that includes 7 Republicans. Now, we knew some of these folks, who they were going to be: Mitt Romney, Ben Sasse, Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, Pat Toomey. We can also add to that list Bill Cassidy from the state of Louisiana, and I'm forgetting who's the other one. There's one more. It'll come to me as I'm going through this. But they got 7. They needed 17. So they got closer. I don't want to say closer than some expected. As I said on here, the odds of that happening were very small, that they would have gotten 67, because it takes 2/3 of the Senate, to actually convict the president. 2/3. That's 2 out of 3 if a socialist is listening this morning. And since there's 100 senators, there's actually 66.6666667 senators. And since you can't actually have a percentage of a senator, you have to round up to 67. So that's how we get to 67. And but they only got to 57, which is, look, I mean, this is, I guess it shows you the political momentum. I'm not saying that it's real across the country, because these folks are facing pushback. In fact, Republican parties, Richard Burr from the state of North Carolina. And by the way, if I'm not mistaken, Burr's not running again in 2022. Toomey's not running again in 2022. I don't know about what Cassidy's deal is, but Cassidy goes to Twitter. Senator Cassidy. Let me see if I can find this. Saw this morning. Cassidy goes to Twitter and records like a 10-second statement here. This is something else I'm going to have to find. I had it pulled up here this morning as well. I think I'm reeling from this snowstorm that's about to hit us. I don't want to talk about that, by the way. But Cassidy, and I love it, Romney does the same general thing. The president's guilty because he's guilty, basically, is what they're saying. In fact, if you want me to read Romney's statement, I will do so. Romney statement on impeachment vote. This is what he says. After careful consideration of the respective counsel's arguments, that sounds very astute, very serious, I have concluded that President Trump, may I mention also, this is me inserting this, may I mention also that Romney was the one that joined the Democrats the first time we went through this impeachment circus about a year ago. So Romney's already voted to impeach the president, not to impeach him, to acquit him of the charges levied against him by the House on the first impeachment trial. So, maybe he's you could say maybe he's biased. You could also say He was persuaded by this argument made by the House managers, even though they used doctored evidence, which we'll talk about here in just a moment. But anyway, he says this: I have concluded that President Trump is guilty of the charges made by the House of Representatives. President Trump attempted to corrupt the election by pressuring the Secretary of State of Georgia to falsify the election results in his state. Is that really what happened there? Is that what Mr. Romney, Senator Romney, really believes, that President Trump was trying to get the Secretary of State to falsify the records? The truth is, President Trump was trying to get the Secretary of State to correct the election results from President Trump's perspective, based upon the evidence that we saw, which, by the way, was quite a bit of evidence. You can argue whether it's enough or not, but to act like everything was perfectly fine in the state of Georgia is beyond delusional at this particular point in time. And you can say that without saying that an election was stolen. We just can't have this stuff happening in elections. We cannot have this stuff happening in our elections. We cannot have half the country, or 70% of Republicans or some such number, think that the election was stolen from Trump. That's unbelievable, really, that the numbers are that high. To think that one political party effectively believes that election results, or these election results, are highly questionable, suspect, and possibly even worse, is you cannot allow that to happen in a country. Period. End of conversation. End of story. But nonetheless, Romney here is referencing the situation where President Trump called Brad Raffensperger and said, he needed to find some votes. Anyway, that's what Romney says here. He also says President Trump incited the insurrection against Congress by using the power of his office to summon his supporters to Washington, D.C. on January 6th. The audacity of the President of the United States to summon supporters to Washington, D.C. on the day the electors would be certified by Congress, and urging them to march on the Capitol, which he did, which Romney conveniently leaves out here, peacefully and patriotically, is what Trump said. But nonetheless, he says march on the Capitol during the counting of electoral votes, which, by the way, in case Mitt Romney or other 6 other Republican senators need to be reminded of this, there's absolutely nothing illegal. There's absolutely nothing unconstitutional about exercising your free speech and marching to a public building. Now, you can't storm it. What happened there in that instance with those actions taken, absolutely and utterly reprehensible. Folks need to be charged for crimes and held accountable for their actions, those that did it. But not everybody did it. You didn't do it. I didn't do it. Lots of people marched to that Capitol, marched in Washington, D.C., listened to that speech, and had nothing at all to do with any of this. Anyway, Romney says he's so not just telling his supporters to march to the Capitol. He did this despite the obvious and well-known threats of violence that day. Pause for a moment. If there were obvious and well-known threats that day, why did we see some of the things that we saw? I don't want to get into all this with some of the things that happened on the Capitol that day, but some of these things that happened, folks, there's just not a good explanation for them. You've seen certain officers opening gates and different things like that. I'm not going to get into all that, except to say if there was so much in the way of, as Romney said here, so much that was obvious and the threats were well known, threats of violence were well known, why wasn't there better security, right? I don't, why did the Senate and the House, I don't remember that being, I was out and about, I was in meetings, I was in a meeting when I left, came out of the meeting and turned on the radio. I'd heard that the Capitol had been breached. But I knew tensions were high. We all knew tensions were high, but threats of violence. See, this flies in the face of Trump incited the riot. This means that they knew that this was pre-planned, but they're still trying to tag this or peg this onto President Trump. Anyway, Romney's statement concludes by saying this: President Trump also violated his oath of office by failing to protect the Capitol, the vice president, and others in the Capitol. This is so delusional. The president doesn't personally. Was he supposed to come in with what? He's not allowed to have a weapon in Washington, D.C. Was President Trump supposed to personally come down there and stop this? I don't even understand what he's saying here. President Trump violated his oath of office by failing to protect the Capitol, the vice president, and others in the Capitol. Each and every one of these conclusions compels me to support conviction. I mean, come on. Romney knew before this trial started he was voting to convict President Trump. And in fairness, there were lots of Republicans who knew that they were voting to acquit President Trump. So, it's over. They've lost again. And I'm telling you, you've seen yesterday, you probably saw Biden. If you haven't, I'll tell you now. Biden releasing a statement, the White House releasing a statement saying it's time to act on gun control. So while this impeachment was a terrible thing, while this impeachment was a dog and pony show that was being run by the Dramocrats, as usual, looking for ways to engage in political theater to fabricate some evidence, as terrible as this was, and it was terrible what they've done here. Again, it's perfectly logical and consistent to say, I condemn what happened at the Capitol on January 6th, the violence that happened, the laws that were broken. I fully and wholeheartedly condemn that. It's perfectly consistent and logical to say the president is not responsible for that. You know what? This may be a shocker to the left because no one's responsible in the minds and in the eyes of the radical left for their own actions. But the people that are responsible for what happened on the Capitol that day are the people who took action to break the law and to carry out some heinous acts that day. That's who's responsible. Pure and simple. The left would have you believe that no one is responsible for their own actions. In fact, if you do something wrong, it's society's fault. It's some external pressure. Something happened to you that was outside of your control. And this was, of course, something that, you cannot be held accountable for because of these external pressures. They're too great. They can't be defined, but they certainly aren't the definition of the person committing the acts. However, at the same time, because we're all members of society, we're all responsible for the actions taken by the individual. It's truly 180 degrees out of whack, folks. It's the exact opposite of how we should look at life. And by the way, this tendency to want to blame some larger, nameless, indefinable group, society, for example. I mean, do they not understand society is made up of people? When society was formed, when populations grew, right? When more and more people grew, society actually is the reflection of what individual people found to be important or what they tried to create within their own communities. Society is a reflection of the individual. And I'm not saying society cannot in turn impact an individual or, pop culture. The media knows this better than anybody. That's why they do what they do. That's why they try to shape the narrative and keep one side of the story out, silence. That's why social media giants want to shut conservatives up. They don't want to have true, robust debate. They want to shut us up, and they want to actually create the desired outcome so that there are societal impacts or influences on the individual. But it works the other way as well. Individuals impact society. You've heard it said before that a good advertisement, a company that wants to deliver its product, its service to Americans, what they try to do is hold up a mirror so that people can see themselves using the product. They want Companies see a problem, see a need in the marketplace, and they try to deliver that need, and they try to let Americans see that need being met in their lives. Right? I mean, this is the way that this works. So there is a back and forth, but to act like society is some sort of a third party that's independent of all sort of impacts, influences of individuals and those who have a big microphone or a big platform is ridiculous as well. The people responsible for breaching the Capitol are, shockingly, those who breached the Capitol, not President Trump, even though 57 senators voted to convict President Trump of these charges. But they failed again, and so President Trump, as I said off the top, is the first president to be acquitted twice of impeachment charges. So, quick timeout is in order. When we get back, I want to play a little bit of a conversation that one of Trump's attorneys, if you haven't heard this, it's worth listening to, one of Trump's attorneys had with a member of the mainstream media. So we'll play that when we get back. A timeout is necessary first. You're listening here to the home of conservative, not bitter talk. I'm your host, Todd Huff, back here in just a minute.
Looking to make a conservative, not bitter fashion statement? Check out our apparel online, including brand new items at toddhuffshow.com/shop today.
Hey Indy, Sid here with Kill a Dent Removal. We specialize in a paint-free repair process known as PDR. Our certified master technicians remove dents and dings of all shapes and sizes, including hail damage, with zero body fillers, zero painting, and zero diminished value. Most repairs are completed the same day, many even while you wait. Check us out at killadentremoval.com. And remember, folks, don't paint your car, go PDR.
Are your health insurance premiums making you sick? There is a cure. With the Pro-Life Health Plan, your savings could be as much as 60%. The Pro-Life Health Plan allows you to enjoy the freedom of choosing any doctor, any hospital, anywhere. And their enrollment is open year-round. Just give Eric a call at 888-448-5370 or visit them online at isellhealth.com. Better coverage at a better cost.
Our sense of smell stimulates memory and emotion. A scent can seemingly transport us to another place and time. Homemade, hand-poured candles and melts from spur-of-the-moment creations will give your nose the experience the rest of your body is missing during any season of the year. Crackling firewood, fresh-cut grass, Macintosh apple, and even racing fuel are some of their over 200 engaging fragrances. Visit spurofthemomentcreations.com and enter coupon code TODD at checkout to receive 15% off your order today.
Hi, this is Kenton with Christian Community Connect. We're a network of business professionals that are committed to living out our faith in the marketplace by preferring one another in love while serving everyone. With online listings at $27 per month, if you're a Christian in business, committed to treating others as you would want to be treated, we would love to include you. Check our reviews and sign up at ChristianCommunityConnect.com.
All right, here we go. $100 down, $200 down, $200 back at 300.
I went to my first firearms auction a few years ago. It was hosted by TJ Freegee, one of my good friends from high school, who is a champion auctioneer and one of the best in the business. In spite of objections from liberal legislators, I walked away with a .22 rifle and a few boxes of ammunition. And I had a great afternoon with my grandpa that I won't soon forget. If you've ever wondered what treasure you could find in an auction, visit FreegeeAuctioneers.com and take a look at their upcoming Central Indiana auction schedule. That's Freegee, F-R-E-I-J-E, auctioneers.com. Visit FreegeeAuctioneers.com.
Hi, I'm TJ Freegee, owner and lead auctioneer at Freegee and Freegee Auctions and Marketing. I invite you to come see the power of live auctions. It's fast, it's fun, it's transparent, and it's the absolute best way to ensure you get fair market value for your asset today. Get results, go auction.
Geothermal tax credits are back, making this the perfect time to install a new Climate Master geothermal system. Take advantage of this limited time 26% tax credit and begin cutting your heating and cooling bills immediately. Visit indianageothermal.com/info to get your free Climate Master information kit or call 317-829-1490. Visit indianageothermal.com/info or call 317-829-1490. Geothermal, it's cheaper than you think.
Would you like to save 20% or more on your insurance? Let AIA and Avon do a free comparison for you. As an independent agent, we can find savings that fit your needs and budget. We work for you, not the insurance companies. Whether your insurance need is big or small, give AIA a call, 317-718-1747, or find out what we can do for you at AIA4lowrates.com.
Welcome back. So before the last segment, I was mentioning or referencing a Bill Cassidy, one of the 7 Republicans who voted to convict President Trump. Now, this is the kind of stuff that this is such a waste. Here's a guy, okay, he votes to convict President Trump. Okay? Oh, whatever you think of that at the moment. Just, okay, explain to us. Explain to us why you did. So he takes the time. He takes this is his statement. He retweeted this. He took the time to retweet this. This is his This is how he summarizes the reasons and the rationale for for voting to convict President Trump. Listen to this very compelling argument. Bear with me here. This thing is not... Here we go. Let's do this again.
Our Constitution and our country is more important than any one person. I voted to convict President Trump because he is guilty.
That's it. That's his argument. Our Constitution, what's he say? Our Constitution and our country is more important than any one person. I voted to convict President Trump because he is guilty. Why is he guilty? I don't suffer this stuff very well. What does this even mean? I voted to convict him because he is guilty. He later said Trump brought together a crowd, but a portion of that crowd was transformed into a mob. And when they went into the Capitol, it was clear he wished that lawmakers be intimidated. And even after Trump knew there was violence taking place, he continued to basically sanction the mob. What do you mean basically sanction the mob? And not until later did he actually ask them to leave. He never asked them to do what you're saying is the problem. There's no direct evidence. The idea, he did ask them to go to the Capitol, which is, well, I don't know that he even asked them. He said, some of you are going to march down to the Capitol after this, peacefully and patriotically, of course, and you're going to make sure that you hold these folks accountable. He did use fight like hell, right? To fight like hell. I guess we shouldn't fight. I mean, you don't see a lot of fight from Republicans like Bill Cassidy here. But we should fight like hell, as Trump says, for this nation, for the Constitution. We should stand up firmly and demand that election integrity be taken seriously, demand that these things be addressed. Cassidy concludes by saying all of that points to a motive and a method, and that is wrong. He should be held accountable. A lot of these folks now, I think even Cassidy, have been held accountable by, or they face, Fox News article here says they face backlash back at home. Republican senators who voted to convict former President Donald Trump on Saturday in the Senate impeachment trial on the charge of inciting an insurrection are already facing backlash in their home states. The 7 GOP senators who joined all Democrats in finding Trump guilty were, and I mentioned this earlier, Burr of North Carolina, Cassidy, Louisiana, Susan Collins, Maine, Lisa Murkowski, Alaska, Mitt Romney, Utah, Ben Sasse, Nebraska, Pat Toomey, Pennsylvania. Louisiana GOP has unanimously, think about this, unanimously voted to censure Bill Cassidy, who I just played that clip from, that very compelling argument, as to why he voted to convict Trump. They voted to censor him. Pennsylvania GOP criticized Pat Toomey on Saturday night. They said this. The chairman, Lawrence Tabas, said this. The post-presidency impeachment proceeding was an unconstitutional theft of time and energy that had absolutely nothing to unify or help the American people. I share the disappointment of many of our grassroots leaders and volunteers over Senator Toomey's vote today. The vote to acquit was the constitutionally correct outcome. Toomey, of course, is not seeking re-election. Richard Burr, North Carolina, is another who's not seeking re-election in 2022. They're facing consequences. By the way, Ben Sasse, senator from Nebraska, told the Republican Party back in his home state, "You are welcome to censor me again, but let's be clear about why this is happening. It's because I still believe, as you used to, that politics isn't about the weird worship of one dude." Is that the perspective here? That there's a worship of Trump? Is this really what the never-Trumpers think? Now, I'm not saying that there's not a segment of folks that don't maybe venture into this realm where they worship President Trump. But the vast majority of Trump supporters, in my estimation, at least the ones that I know, at least the ones that I hear from, they're not worshiping President Trump. In fact, many of the ones that I hear from are those that are already committed Christians, and they like what President Trump is trying to accomplish by fighting against, if I'm allowed to say that metaphorically, those of you that are out there in the Facebook police and so forth, that's a metaphor. But Trump is fighting against these powers, against a government that is completely and overwhelmingly out of control. Trump embodies a person who's trying to restore America in the ways in which, in those foundationally good ways, right? To move back towards our Constitution, to move back towards limited government, to move back towards the responsibility and the power of the individual, away from statism, away from the idea that government holds a solution to all of our problems, away from high taxes, away from control and silencing of or threats to silence religious groups. The freedom of religion is important. The freedom of speech. I mean, you can the right to keep and bear arms, which I want to get to as well here today, given the Biden administration's acknowledgement here that they want to start, moving towards gun control. Which again, as I said earlier, as terrible as impeachment was, was it not a better use of time from? Please understand what I'm saying. It was a total sham and a total witch hunt and a total unconstitutional effort. So there's damage that's been done. I'm not saying, but at least they weren't trying to implement policies that were infringing upon other constitutional rights. They wasted here the first month or 6 weeks doing this stupid impeachment proceeding, and they fell short. And now they're wanting to begin the gun grab and move on to the other ideas in their radical, out of control leftist agenda. So the people that I know don't worship Trump. They like the ideas that he was advocating and furthering. They like that he was exposing and combating in a metaphorical way, again, for the literal Facebook police out there, but in a metaphorical way, fighting against these ideas that really need to be soundly defeated in this nation, and can be if free debate and the free exchange of ideas is allowed to transpire in this nation. These ideas are soundly defeated. But when you make an election about the hatred of one man, as they did in 2020 here back a couple of months ago in November, they have a chance of winning. If it's about the issues and people understand truth and reality and how this nation was founded in the Constitution, the value and the importance of liberty, they lose. They lose every time, unless they've got a network of socialists that are prepared to completely abandon, which there's a larger group of folks in that group than I care to admit, but not nearly the number that love this country, that love freedom, that love the Constitution, that believe America is this truly wonderful place because of the ideas upon which it was built. So, anyway, I want to play a little bit of this soundbite, this exchange between Trump's attorney, impeachment attorney, and the media, but I just didn't get to it this segment. We'll do that when we return. Sit tight. Be back here in just a minute.
Enrollment in Todd's conservative, not bitter university is now open. For a limited time, save $10 on Todd's first course, A Christian's Guide to Being a Patriot. For more information or to enroll, visit conservativenotbitter.com. Sponsored in part by Workforce Chaplains. Could your business or organization benefit from the services of a professional team of chaplains? Meet the needs of your employees and foster an excellent work environment with Workforce Chaplains. For more information, visit workforcechaplains.com today.
What if your bank treated you like a person instead of an account number? What if you could sit across from the person you are opening an account with or requesting a loan from and have an actual conversation? You may be thinking, Todd, that's crazy talk. Well, not at Citizens Bank. Come visit them in Monrovia and meet Nick Gibson, their new branch manager, and the rest of their staff. Or give them a call at 317-831-0110. Citizens Bank is an equal housing lender and member FDIC. Fireplaces can be beautiful and even essential in heating some homes. But did you know they could be dangerous to your family if not properly maintained? Chimneys need to be cleaned and inspected annually. My family and I had Smalling Masonry inspect ours. They are friendly, informative, on time, and helped us use our wood-burning stove more efficiently. Call Christian-owned Smalling Masonry today at 317-903-8121 and mention my name, Todd Huff, for a 15% off chimney inspection and sweep.
Are you tired of manually opening the gate every time you pull in the drive, especially during the freezing cold, pouring rain, or hot, humid weather? Then Gatekeeper Services has your solution. They offer affordable residential and commercial motorized units for your gated properties. Veteran-owned with over 50 years' experience in motorized gate sales and repairs on any make or model, and with numerous entry control options, Gatekeeper Services takes pride being certified in both automated gate system design and operator installation. Simplify your life today by calling 317-714-4061.
There's a lot going on in the world today, and with so much going on, it's sometimes hard to maintain balance. Jesus said in John 16:33, "In this world you will have tribulation, but take heart, I have overcome the world." I'm Pastor Jeff Floyd of the Martinsville First Church of the Nazarene. To experience how life can be better with Jesus, come worship at M1 Church at 10 a.m. this Sunday, 1609 John R. Wooden Drive in Martinsville, or catch our live stream service on Facebook at M1 Church. For more information, visit m1nazarene.org. Have a great day today in Jesus.
Hey Indianapolis, by now you've probably heard about Jody Dowdle with Midwest Tax Group. Jody and his team are experts at helping you prepare your personal or small business tax returns. You can count on Midwest Tax Group to get every deduction possible and work for your higher refund. And not just on this year's taxes, they'll check your prior returns for any tax savings you may have missed for free. Are you behind on filing your returns? They can file past due returns and help negotiate with the IRS too. They complete most tax returns within a week and charge an affordable flat fee, no hourly billing. And as their client, you can consult with the team at Midwest Tax Group year-round at no charge. Midwest Tax Group has 4 office locations in Castleton, Greenwood, Plainfield, and Greenfield, with evening and weekend appointments available. Schedule your appointment today at 317-288-5260. That's 317-288-5260. Or visit their website at mwtaxgroup.com. Midwest Tax Group can help you more than any piece of software ever could.
This is the sound of your typical do-it-yourselfer in completely over his head.
For heating, plumbing,
and electrical done right.
Call Mr. Quick. Call Mr. Quick. Dial the number, spell the words. For on time.
Welcome back. One of President Trump's attorneys for his impeachment proceeding, Mr. Van der Veen, was on CBS News with an anchor here. I don't know the name. I'm scrolling here to see if I can find the name. But anyway, he's being interviewed by this media. Well, this journal. I'm not going to say journalist. I don't, someone in the media. How about that? Asking him. It gets contentious here. I just want you to hear a bit of this because I think Mr. Van der Veen does a good job kind of highlighting the problems in the media. So let's listen to this exchange that happened over the weekend.
Throughout the trial, you denied that Mr. Trump had a role in inciting the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol. You argued, first of all, that there was no insurrection, but during your closing arguments, you seemingly admitted that there was, in fact, an insurrection, using that word, saying that was not up for debate. What role did the former president play?
You didn't understand the case. I used the word
I'll give you the opportunity to clarify, sir.
Sure. I used the word insurrection in my closing argument when quoting the charging documents. What happened at the Capitol on January 6th is absolutely horrific. But what happened at the Capitol during this trial was not too far away from that. The prosecutors in this case doctored evidence. They did not investigate this case, and when they had to come to the court of the Senate to put their case on, because they hadn't done any investigation, they doctored evidence. It was absolutely shocking. I think when we discovered it and we were able to expose it and put it out, I think it turned a lot of senators. The American people should not be putting up with this. They need to look at who these House managers were and look to see whether these are the folks they want representing them. It was shocking to me. Wouldn't have believed it.
Let's follow up with a point that you're making right now about the House managers, as you say, doctoring evidence, and the argument.
They didn't deny
for
it.
Our viewers,
they didn't deny it. I put it in front of them 3 times.
To be clear for our viewers, what you're talking about now is a check mark. That's a verification on Twitter that did not exist on that particular tweet. A 2020 that should have actually read 2021, and the selective editing, you say, of the tapes. Is that the doctored evidence of what you're speaking?
Wait, that's not enough for you? That's not enough for you?
Wait, no,
sir,
no. I'm trying.
Listen,
I'm not a juror in this trial. What I'm trying to be clear for our viewers is what you're referring to, because not everybody has been following.
It's not okay.
Not everybody,
to doctor
sir,
a little bit of evidence.
Respectfully, I have not said it is. I have not said it is okay.
Ma'am, your question is
I want to be clear for our viewers.
Listen, what
I
has
want to be clear for our viewers about what exactly you're saying when you say doctored evidence.
The media has to start telling the right story in this country. The media is trying to divide this country. You are bloodthirsty for ratings, and as such, you're asking questions now that are already set up with a fact pattern. I can't believe you would ask me a question indicating that it's all right just to doctor a little bit of evidence. There's more stuff that we uncovered that they doctored, to be frank with you. And perhaps that will come out one day.
Very shocking,
but we
of
won
course.
this case. And I'm not a sore loser, but what happened, or a sore winner, I should say, but what should happen is somebody should look at the conduct of these House managers. It's unconscionable.
Don't look to the media.
Aside from all of the due process violations that my client had, And the media should be looking at a square, straight way. The straight
Dream
way.
on.
When I
He's
watch
right,
the
but dream
news,
on.
I watch one station and it's raining. I watch another station at the same time and it's sunny. Your coverage is so slanted, it's got to stop. You guys have to stop and start reporting more like PBS does rather than a TV news show that doesn't have any journalistic integrity at all. What I'm telling you is that they doctored evidence. And I believe your question says, well, it's only a Twitter check and changing a year of a date here. They switched the date of a Twitter a year to try to connect it to this case.
That's right.
That's not a small thing, ma'am. The other thing they did is they put a check mark on something to make it look like it was a validated account when it wasn't. And when they were caught, they didn't say anything about it. They didn't even
All this
try
happened,
to
by the
come
way.
up with an excuse about it. And that's
All right, I can't go any more into that, but that gives you an idea. So he's calling out the media here, the Trump impeachment attorney. You know, he's still wrong about a lot. I mean, we mean PBS. Is PBS our now standard bearer? I could pull up some examples of some less than desirable things that have happened there as well. We could play those, but this idea, this concept that, I mean, he's right in the sense that, you know, she basically says, well, to be clear, you know, when you're talking about doctored evidence, you're talking about a missing or an added blue check mark, meaning that the tweet that they were referencing in their Senate proceedings were, you know, in the trial, it came from a validated account, something that has more credibility, but they just added it. It wasn't there. The tweet that they were referencing was not from me. It was not from a validated account. They also changed the date from 2020 to 2021 on one of President Trump's tweets to make it appear that a tweet he sent a year ago was directly associated with what happened on the Capitol Hill, in the Capitol building, I should say, January 6th, 2021, even though the tweet was sent January 6th, 2020. The media has no interest. The media has no interest in clarifying. I mean, it's just remarkable. If you put side-by-side descriptions, you know, media coverage of the way they talked about collusion with Russia, they never once explained to you, because they can't, by the way, how Trump colluded with Russia to steal the election. Because the answer is, in their crazy delusional way of looking at things, is that Trump colluded with Russia to get you, and, well, not you, but Trump supporters, or Hillary supporters, to trick them into voting for Trump because of a Facebook ad. That is what collusion led to. That makes no sense. That's ridiculous. That's absurd. They never once asked for clarification on collusion. They asked for clarification here by doctoring evidence. You mean just by they forgot to add the check mark. They switched the date. Inadvertently was almost the way that she made it sound. Of course it is. Of course it's inadvertent. Anyway, timeout is necessary. Quick timeout, come back and get to this gun control thing with the limited time we have available. Sit tight, back here in just a minute.
Like what you hear on Todd's show? Why not get more by signing up for Todd's free Semi-Sweet Morsels of Truth newsletter? To subscribe, visit toddhuffshow.com/subscribe or text HUFF to 31996.
The printing industry has changed a lot since we opened for business in 1931, but what our clients expect from us really hasn't changed. Quality print, fast turnaround, and competitive prices. We've learned a lot at Moeller Printing over 86 years and 3 generations. Why not put that experience to work for you? Call 317-353-2224 and mention discount code RADIO to receive 10% off your first order. Call Moeller Printing at 317-353-2224.
Corin Homes is expanding their 55-plus community. Briar Creek is the only senior manufactured home community in Indianapolis featuring Indiana-built homes. Floor plans and finishes starting at $75,000. Enjoy affordable, low-maintenance lifestyle with the charm of a residential neighborhood. Located minutes from I-465 in Fort Harrison State Park. Corin Homes, family-owned and operated since 1955. Check us out at COHRONhomes.com. Mention the Todd Huff Show and receive a $1,000 discount on your new home.
I want to get one more season out of my furnace or air conditioner. Have you or someone you know ever made that statement? Economy heating, air conditioning, and plumbing has heard it a lot. Did you know that furnaces and air conditioners are most likely to break down when they're under stress? That means during the hottest and coldest months of the year, like those months quickly approaching us. With winter on the horizon, now is the time to replace that old rickety unit. With 0% financing for up to 72 months and up to $600 in instant rebates, now is the time to buy. Doing great work is Economy's priority, and the satisfaction of their customers is their number one goal, guaranteed. Make your home comfortable this winter. Contact Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing today by calling 317-831-5279 or visit them at economyheatingandair.com.
Wallace Construction is a family-owned business with 45 years' experience in asphalt, concrete, and seal coating. At Wallace Construction, our wide variety of experience and top-notch customer service have helped us build a strong reputation in central Indiana. But we don't rest on that reputation. We build it, one job at a time. If you have an upcoming project, call us at 317-422-5356. That's Wallace Construction, 317-422-5356, and ask for Richard or Roger.
Hunting, fishing, bows, guns, ammo, safes, and more. The Outdoorsman Sports Shop in Greenwood has all the gear you need for your outdoor experience. We have a huge selection of brands that other shops don't carry, and a friendly, knowledgeable staff ready to answer all your outdoor adventure questions. At Outdoorsman Sports Shop in Greenwood, you can even hone your archery skills at our indoor shooting range. Find us online at outdoorsmansportshop.com. So get outdoors, but bring the right gear.
All your life, you've planned and taken care of the people you love. They always knew you had a plan. Taking care of your final wishes will give them one final gift. Buying your headstones direct through Thomas Monument saves your loved ones additional stress during a difficult time and saves money by cutting out the middleman. Call 317-244-6525 or go online to thomasmonument.com to understand why families have trusted us since 1962.
Welcome back. Circling back after that break. By the way, I want to mention this, that, and you've heard me say this on here, I love our fireplace. That thing helps me deal with these cold temperatures in ways that I can't even begin to tell you, because I'm a little bit of a wimp when it comes to the cold weather. I'll just be honest with you. But this fireplace has it nice and toasty in the house, and I want to thank our friends at Smalling Masonry for helping keep it operational, and they cleaned it. They actually taught us how to use it in a more efficient way that actually even makes the house even more comfortable. So if you have a wood burner, if you have a fireplace, if you need a chimney clean, consider reaching out to our friends at Smalling Masonry. BeechGroveMasonry.com is the website. Beechgrove, 2 E's. BeechGroveMasonry.com or 317-903-8121 is the number. I want to really quickly here highlight a statement made by Biden yesterday on the 3-year anniversary of the tragic Parkland school shooting in Florida. Biden and his administration is vowing here in this statement, the administration will not wait for the next mass shooting to heed that call. We will take action to end our epidemic of gun violence and make our schools and communities safer. Today I am calling on Congress to enact common sense gun law reforms, including requiring background check on all gun sales, banning assault weapons and high-capacity magazines, and eliminating immunity for gun manufacturers who knowingly put weapons of war on our streets. This is what the call in the statement was yesterday. So I will just say this. I don't have time to get into this right now, but I just point out that remember when they were doing this ridiculous impeachment nonsense, it was preventing them from doing stuff like this. So buckle up. This is just beginning, and I've got to take a break. Sit tight. Back in just a minute.
Stay on top of the nonsense our colleges are subjecting students to today by listening to Todd's monthly interview series with Matt Lamb, assistant editor of The College Fix. Listen at toddhuffshow.com/college. Brought to you by Apprentice University. With so many societal changes, everyone's talking about apprenticeships and college debt. Businesses seek employees with practical problem-solving skills. Visit apprentice.university to learn about our demanding academics and paid apprenticeships in excess of tuition. No debt, in-demand skills, Christian community.
Need to refresh or renovate your commercial space? Call Interior Construction Services today, providing the highest level of quality construction at a competitive price. Our service-minded team is here to deliver the detail-oriented environment you're looking to create, on time and on budget. Call us at 317-991-4660 or visit us online at interiorconstruct.com. Interior Construction Services. Progressive, productive, professional.
If you own a rental property, you know the hassles of marketing, renting, collecting, and the handling of maintenance and repairs. One call to Zuluscape can put an end to your property management headaches. Zuluscape has over 20 years of experience helping landlords throughout central Indiana and taking the stress out of owning a rental. From A to Z, let Zuluscape handle it all so you can enjoy owning a rental instead of hating being a landlord. Give us a call at 317-663-8485 or visit our website at zuluscape.com.
The compassion of Christ. It's living life connecting to the broken and messy world. It's not simply walking down the street and dropping a quarter in someone's bucket. It's been perverted by Satan from biblical compassion to feeling sorry for, and sympathy isn't where God wants us to live. It's connecting to broken people in our daily life. Living the compassion of Christ.
Our word can't be diluted because we are taught that a promise is a commitment in which you always follow through. No ifs, ands, or buts. So every time you walk through Greg Hubler Chevrolet doors, you can count on the advice and expertise we provide you. Because when we make a promise, we keep it. Greg Hubler Chevrolet. Promise kept. Visit GregHublerChevy.com. Find new roads.
Hi, this is Caleb with Gluff Plumbing. Does your home need some plumbing updates? Gluff Plumbing is your solution. We specialize in updating old plumbing, everything from water heaters to well pumps, to underground leaks and everything that has to do with water entering and leaving the home, including water and sewer main excavations. We pride ourselves on old-fashioned customer service. Call Gluff Plumbing at 765-721-6789 or visit gluffplumbing.com. That's GLUFF plumbing.com. Call us today.
Are you concerned about your investments? Intrepid Financial has been educating, customizing, and servicing Hoosier investment portfolios since 1998. Our family-owned and operated business builds strong bonds with our clients. When you call, we answer the phone, always ready to walk you through your investment strategy. Intrepid means without fear. We want our clients to be fearless, to feel secure with their investments. Give us a call at 317-818-1776 or visit us online at intrepidfinancial.com.
All right, my friends, you're listening to America's Reality Czar, since apparently the pressure being applied to the Biden administration by the New York Times to get a reality czar to make sure that you're believing the right things. I'm volunteering for that position in case they need to. Just the stuff the left tells us. The levels to which they go to make sure that they further their message at the expense of all sorts of freedoms and liberties and free exchange of ideas is remarkable. And we are just scratching the surface here, folks. So, as I said before, buckle up. We're going to have a bumpy ride these next couple of years, but we can get through it. We need to continue to do our job, persuade others for constitutional conservatism. Gotta go. SDGC tomorrow. Take care.
Does your business have a plan for social media marketing? Are you reaching the right audiences through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and the list goes on? Are you learning from the data? Jarbo can help. Our team doesn't just come in and tell you how to be successful. We help you execute and measure your sales and marketing efforts. Give us a call at 317-834-6560 or visit us online at jarbomarketing.com. That's jarbomarketing.com. Make social media work for you.
As a listener of this program, I have no doubt that you embrace the value of hard work, honesty, and integrity. And when you have the opportunity to work with a company that fully embraces and shares these values, I'm sure you jump at it. Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing is just that type of company in Central Indiana. Jeff and Jod Woods have a team of professional technicians here to help tune up your furnace or install a quality new train system. And they're also here to fix those nasty plumbing problems that seem to happen at the absolute worst time. So the next time you have a plumbing, heating, or cooling need, give the good folks at Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing a call. Call 317-831-5279. That's 317-831-5279. Or visit economyheatingandair.com.
Family owned since 1973, Edwards Equipment at 1375 East Main Street in Danville is ready to meet your equipment needs by selling, renting, and servicing several makes and models of lightweight residential or heavy-duty commercial equipment. We carry and service top-name brands like Ferris, Kubota, Steel, Gravely, Honda Power, Land Pride, and more. Visit edwardstractor.com or call 317-745-6427 to check out our clearance specials today. At Edwards Equipment, we don't just sell you any piece of equipment, we sell you the right piece of equipment.